Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Kerry Louise Edit. So in today's vlog, we are going to be firstly introducing myself, as I failed to do that in the first and second vlog. Then we are secondly going to be going out and about, as we're going to start a new project today, which is always a great thing, fun and exciting, and we need to get some supplies as I don't quite have everything that we need for that. And then to finish the vlog, we will start the project. So who am I, some of you have asked. I'm just Kerry and I like to sew. I'm a third generation seamstress, following from my mum and my nana. I am married, my husband's name is Tom. Some of you may know him from YouTube as Viking Tom. And I have 2 daughters and I have 2 whippets. I began sewing when I was around about 6 years old, taught by my mum and my nana. I've just loved it ever since. Enough about me, it's time to go shopping. Bye, see you soon. Bye, see you soon. Here we are. Let's go upstairs to the sewing bit. I'm gutted because they haven't got the sewing pattern that I was looking for, even though it said that they sold it online. They haven't got it. I mean, there's still some really nice ones anyway. Such a shame. So they haven't got the pattern in that I was hoping to get. Not only that, they also haven't got the fabric in that I was hoping to get either. What we're going for is to make the corset like we were talking about on the last vlog with this fabric. So I was hoping to get some fabric to go with it. They haven't got it in. I feel like this fabric goes quite nicely with it. It's just a faux suede, but it's extremely thin. It is so incredibly thin. It just, I do quite like the colour, I do quite like the texture of it, but I'm not going to go with this one. Now this is the same fabric, but I'm not going to get this, but I'm loving the colour. Someone did actually say in the last vlog, in the comments, about a deep purple. I think that's the colour we're going with, but just not this fabric. Hobbycraft was an absolute flop. They didn't have a single thing that I needed, which is quite sad. So I'm going to be a bit delayed on this project, but I think we're going to have to resort to online shopping, which I'd rather not do, but it is what it is. There isn't any more small businesses that has patterns and haberdashery and fabrics. They're just so few and far between now. It is such a shame. But if anyone does know of anything, of anywhere that I don't already know of, that is, within a certain mile radius from the G-Cross area, then please do let me know in the comments. We've left Hobbycraft, but we've ended up stumbling upon the vintage market in Stockport. Sewing bits and bats. Remember these? Look at this that I've just found. How cute is this? I have to buy this. This is absolutely adorable. It's a tiny little sewing kit box. Cannot explain how obsessed I am with this. It's adorable. I love it. I love this skirt. It says it's 70s vintage cooperative skirt. I love it. Look at the embroidery on this. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely stunning. Love it. Wow, look at that blouse. Well, unfortunately, that wasn't the most successful shopping trip. I came back with a whole big bag of nothing. So I might have to jump online and try and find the things that I need from there. Side quest! Moving on. So if you watched the last vlog, then you may remember that I made this nice little faux fur bag made over from the leftover fur of the fur coat that I recently made. Now, reference photo, you can see at the top there, top of the strap, it had like a PU leather wrap around it, and I said I wanted to do something similar. We're not copying the bag, however, we are using it for inspiration, and I want to do a similar thing on the top. I think something beige or cream would look very, very well with this. Now, you may remember me saying that I don't have anything like that. But it turns out I do, actually. We are going to use this. This is going to be the donor jacket. I'm not going to cut it up because I do actually really like this jacket. I use it quite a lot. But we are going to steal this. We're going to steal the belt. Why, you may ask? Why are you going to take the belt away from that? Well, it drives me insane. It annoys me. It irritates me. It bangs and clangs and I don't like it. So I'm going to steal it. I don't feel like it's really going to affect the coat at all. The coat is actually a little bit tatty. It could do with a little bit of TLC. I don't know if you can see from there, but it can quite easily be sorted. Sorry, jacket. I still can't fully decide on what to do with this. I don't know if I'm just trying to make something look good that I'm actually not going to like at the end, or if I just need to get it right. So I'm going to chop this off because I was going to try and incorporate that into it, but it's not working. I don't like it. And I'm going to chop this end off as well with the eyelets because I don't actually need much anyway. So I think from there to there will be an ample amount. So let's have a look. Let's carry on playing around and just see how it looks. Okay, after a lot of playing around, this is what I have come up with. I don't know what you think, but I quite like it. Again, it's not exactly what I had in mind, but I feel like it just really needs something. And I do think being cream or beige is kind of what it needs. All gold really, but I kind of do want to wear this bag quite a lot. So I don't want to be looking too zhuzhy. I think I'm going to go with this. Obviously we have a lot of excess here, so we're gonna chop that away and get it sewn down. I'm going to do a few, I'm just going to hand sew this for it to stay in place, of course. So I'm going to chop this a little bit narrower because it's driving me mad.
It's just not quite hitting the mark, but I know it can. I just need to do it correctly. But this is all part of the parcel when you're just having a play around and you're using things that you have lying around and not buying new things to make something.
Honestly, I was starting to actually get a little bit worried that I had taken far too much away. Look what's left. This is what I ended up doing to it. No matter what I was doing, I was unhappy with everything. Then I ended up with this and then I started to really panic. So do you know what I've ended up using? All the bits that I actually cut away and discarded originally. So I've decided to go with this. All the bits that I threw away right at the start. I just think that's what works. I think I was overcomplicating it. I tend to do that quite a lot. I do overcomplicate things. I will overthink things, then I will create more work for myself that I don't need to. And that's when I start to get frustrated. This is the reality of sewing. We're not always happy and smiling and sewing away with birds tweeting. No, sometimes it is rage sewing or rage faffing with things. I think that's fine. I like that. Like I said, we're just working with stuff we've already got. I'm not wanting to buy anything more. That is not what this is about. Had I have bought something to finish this off, I probably would have done something totally different. But I like being creative and I like being resourceful. So I'm going to go with this. Let's get this sewn in place. So yeah, I like this. I like this. Sew along here. I'm going to declare this finished now. I'm pretty happy with the end result. Although it's not what I set out to achieve, I'm actually pleasantly surprised and quite happy. It's nothing much, don't get me wrong. However, it is a nice little feature. It's actually got a bit more character than I intended on it having, even though it doesn't go over as much. It doesn't cover as much of the strap as what I was going to do. But it seems to me, I think it's got more character with the belt buckle. And this is what it looks like on. Like I said, it's not much, but it just kind of takes away a little bit from all of the navy. I think it just makes it pop with the contrast of the light and the dark. But this is it. I didn't have to buy anything extra to make this bag. This was leftover fabric. Yes, it was fabric that I bought. However, I had overbought and therefore it had no use. So I've made use of it, made a bag. Now we've finally finished the little strap feature. Rain, that's my seat. Excuse me, please. Excuse me, please. Please. Oh. Yeah, she's not going to move, is she? This is Larry. Hi, Larry. Please all welcome Larry. Okay, so we're going to order all the bits that we need to get this corset made. So we need fabric for the back. The main thing, the main fabric of the corset is going to be at the front. I've read everyone's suggestions, everyone's comments, and I think that keeping that at the front is a great idea. I love that. And then I'm going to get like a satin, deep purple for the back, and we're going to have a lace up at the back. So what do we need? We need some eyelets. So I found the pattern that I want to use. I'm not going to be drafting my own for this because my mannequin is broken and I'm going to get a new one in the new year. I'd rather draft my own when I've got my mannequin. So I'm going to use it. Plus, I'm quite curious to see what this pattern is like. I want to see how adaptable it is as well. And it might hopefully make like a really good block. And I would also, if all goes well with this, I would quite like to use it to then make a dress from it. So with the corset being the bodice. Now, this is the pattern that I was trying to get from Hobbycraft yesterday, but they didn't have them in at all. So, and it was actually quite a lot cheaper in Hobbycraft, which I'm surprised at because Hobbycraft is normally more expensive. But this is £16.20 here, and it's actually £13 in Hobbycraft. But not to worry, this is being delivered and it is free delivery as well, so we can't grumble with that. Something I really like about this as well is, I'll just show you some of the pictures. So I love that. I love the ribbon bow straps on that one. That's quite nice. Oh, and the button. Oh, I love them all. I love this. I love this a lot. And these are all the different variations here that you can do with the pattern as well. I've just learned something really, really interesting. Now, I was looking at boning, caps as well for the boning. And then I read something about zip ties. And then I was like, zip ties? So I've just gone on to handy YouTube and I've just found a video that is saying to use, as a very cheap alternative, you can use zip ties instead of boning. So I'm like quite amazed, and they're a lot more flexible. They work just as well, but you do have a lot more flexibility with it. So they can be a lot more comfortable, which is quite interesting because I did think, because this is a corset I want to be able to actually go out and wear. I'm thinking of wearing a nice blouse underneath it. Hear me out. I'm going to try this. I'm going to review this hack. So instead of boning, we're going to use zip ties, and I'm going to review what I think. Love, love, love this colour. This is like an aubergine plum. This is a matte Duchess satin. So it doesn't have as much of a shine as like a poly satin would, but this has more like a gentle sheen, which I think will actually perhaps be a little bit more elegant, really. And it's £5.99 for half a metre. I personally don't think that's too bad, really. And it's free delivery as well. Welcome to the next day. Finally, the pattern arrived. I'm going to do this one where the lace up is going to be at the back. I do quite like this style with the lace up at the front. I really do like that one. But I don't know, I just want it at the back. So, and I'm also going to do this feature, this detail as well. There we go. With the eyelets on the strap being held together by like a nice bow or some sort of ribbon. So I definitely want to do that. Unfortunately, the fabric for the back of the corset and what we're going to line it with, it hasn't turned up yet. So we're going to go ahead and crack on and get the fabric, the main fabric cut out and the interfacing. I'll show you the other bits that I've got. Otherwise, you'll be waiting forever for this vlog and I really want to get it out there. I don't want to keep you guys waiting in between vlogs. So let's get that done and then I'll come back to you once I've done that. The size I got is the size 4 up to 12. You can get the same pattern again, but that goes then from size, I think it's 14. I'm not sure what size it goes up to, but there is, you can get more sizes of this. But I've gone for this one because this will have my size in there. It's an intermediate pattern, so it's just a little bit more advanced than beginners. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what this is like. If you're ever unsure of what size to go for when you're using a pattern, if you take a look at the body measurements and then use a tape measure and just measure yourself, and then you can get a good idea as to which size you should use. So these bits here and here, these are the ruffles which go on this design, the armhole ruffles. I'm not going to do that on this one. I might do it. I might do it another corset and then I might do this on because I do quite like that detail. However, I'm not going to be adding that onto this one, so I won't bother cutting those out. We'll just fold those up and pop them back in the packet for another time. Now, I've just been working on the pattern placement on this very, very, very small piece of fabric that we're working with here. What I would have done normally is have, because it has a pattern on it, I would normally have it flow. So that is the side bit, which is this piece here. What I would do is place it like that, and then you'd have this bit which is next. This needs to be cut on the fold, so I'll have to fold the fabric, so it'll be double that, and then I'd have that piece then following on here. So when you're wearing it, I hope this makes sense, I hope I'm explaining it properly. So when you're wearing it, the pattern flows. Obviously, taking into consideration, you will have the seam allowance that will be taken away and that will be, you know, hidden, obviously, to put the thing together. But it'll make it so the pattern flows. That is not possible in this case because the cut is deeper here and then it goes up and then it kind of straightens out. Here it's lower down and then goes up again. So it's not perfectly cut. I'm going to show you this edge as well here. Look at that. So, because this is literally just a scrap piece of fabric that I got from the fabric reduced bin at the fabric shop. However, I have worked out that I can just about get that piece in. So if you were looking at the finished garment, that is the right side. Here, this piece. Then flip that over and can just, where's my marking there? Oh gosh, it is just, if you look at the top there, actually missing like a fraction, a few mil, but we can work with that. That's fine, it's not a problem. There, pull that down a little bit. So I can just about get those two on there. They won't fit down here, unfortunately, because there's just not enough. There's not enough for the height. And then if I take this piece and I've worked out, obviously needs to be folded, so it'll be double that. So you flip that over, then that will be all one. That'll be the front middle panel piece. That'll bring us to there. The only problem I've got now though is this piece. This piece doesn't quite fit in anywhere. And I've been playing around for quite a while now. Some of you may be thinking, well, why don't you keep those like that? And then to cut the other one of these, because I need two of these, like do that, which I don't even think that would work anyway, even if it did fit. But the reason why I won't do something like that is because then you're messing with the grey. It'll clearly be upside down and it'll just look really odd. So I'm not too sure what to do at the moment. Now, before anybody says, Kerry, why don't you just turn the fabric 90 degrees? Well, let me show you. So if I do that, yes, that works. Yes, that'll get another one there. Yes, this will work as well. Obviously, that's got to be doubled over. However, and even this, and I'd probably just about get another one, but that would mean having to turn that upside down. So that won't work. But this will be, have the grain line of the fabric will be totally different. So you'll have these pieces like this, and then this one, it'll be going across sideways, and it could also affect the fit. So that's why we don't do it like that. We need all pieces the same way. I do think we're going to have to sacrifice this in some way. Or, I mean, because there'll be a little bit, there'll be enough for one, just not enough for two. So I'm wondering if maybe perhaps split this in two and have the inner side still this stuff, which is this piece here, and same there as well. I don't know, I'm not too sure. I'm thinking out loud here, really. You're probably thinking, my goodness, Kerry, what on earth are you talking about? So I'm going to stop right there. I'm just going to start cutting the fabric out. I should be ashamed of myself. These pins have had a hard life. They're absolutely cream crackered to get some new ones. Another bananaed one. I'm going to mark where the eyelet is going to go on the strap, which is here. So go ahead and pop that tailor's tack in. I hope you can see now how it's all what I meant earlier with what I was explaining. This one doesn't flow, but it doesn't matter because we're working with a scrap bit of fabric. And now you'll probably be able to see if I show you. This is what I've got left. Now the piece I was telling you about before, it was this one, number 3. We're not going to get, I need 2 of these and we're just not going to get 2. So, and I still haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to sleep on it because I'm still waiting for the other fabric to come anyway, which is the lining and the fabric for the back of the corset. So I can't really do any more anyway. I'm going to sleep on it, I'm going to think about it. I'll probably be able to make the decision once that fabric actually comes. Now I want the corset to have quite a bit of structure in it. So I'm going to use interfacing. However, the only thing is the interfacing that I do have is iron-on, and I don't think it would be the best option. I do think that perhaps sewing would be best. I don't want the corset to be too stiff, and I also don't want it to have like a bubbling effect when it's being worn. So I think I'm going to go for the sewing, which I'll go and get some of that today. So that won't put us back any further because we're still waiting for the other fabric that goes in the lining and the back of the corset. I'm using these eyelets, these beautiful gold eyelets for the back. I don't know what colour ribbon to use still, so let me know what you think in the comments, what colour ribbon I should go with. I'm thinking gold really because you're going to have the deep plum in the back of the corset. So I don't know, I just feel like gold ribbon would go really well against that, which is also why I've obviously chosen the gold eyelets. These are 6mm eyelets, by the way. So yeah, I'm going to leave it here for today, guys. I'm still waiting on this fabric, so hopefully it comes later today. and then I can get cracking with getting this all put together. Obviously, I know I've still got a bit more cutting to do, but so please tune in for the next vlog if you want to see this finished and what it looks like. I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who's come this far. I know it's only my 3rd vlog, but I'm so grateful for everybody who's watching and showing all the love and support. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.